Hello. Please hit like button and subscribe my channel. Also press bell icon for future video notifications. Thanks.
Tick bites transmit Lyme disease. But even knowing where these ticks live doesn't necessarily mean you can predict the disease in humans. It's only one part of a broader picture which includes human behavior and the habits of the parasite's carriers. Researchers at UC Santa Barbara have discovered that the ecology of the small mammals upon which ticks feed can explain rates of human Lyme disease, at least in California. As a result, scientists and health officials may be able to predict future disease risk by studying the response of these animals, and their tick parasites, to changing climate and land use. The findings appear in the journal Environmental Research Letters. This study is unique because it tries to quantify the links connecting climate to mammals to ticks to humans, which requires different types of data, research techniques and academic backgrounds, said co-author Sam Sambado, a doctoral student in the Department of Ecology, Evolution, and Marine Bi. Lyme disease is primarily caused by the bacterium Borrelia burgdorferi by way of tick bites. However, the western black-legged tick isn't born with the bacterium. It can only contract the pathogen by feeding on an infected host, which serves as a reservoir for the microbe. The ecology of the tick's hosts should affect the distribution of the disease in humans, but the connection isn't always straightforward. It's challenging to link the ecology to the epidemiology, or where people get sick, because humans change their behavior based on risk, said first author Andy McDonald, an assistant professor at the Bren School of Environmental Science Management. Where people go, how they interact with the landscape, and whether they take precautions against tick bites all influence where people contract Lyme disease. The researchers had two questions in mind. First, what environmental factors affect the infection rate in tick populations? Second, can this knowledge be used to predict human infections? For this project, the team used geo-referenced locations where infected ticks had been collected across California. They then employed machine learning to correlate tick infection rates with different environmental characteristics and included habitat suitability for different small mammals that can serve as a reservoir for B. burgdorferi. Small mammals are most likely to acquire and then transmit infection to an uninfected tick, McDonald explained. Large mammals don't build up significant pathogen levels, and reptiles' immune systems may even kill the bacteria. Meanwhile, the role of birds is less understood, but scientists believe they aren't significant contributors to the amount of Lyme disease in tick populations in North America. When the dust settled, the algorithm showed a clear link between infected ticks and one of their frequent hosts. The most important predictor, by far, of B. burgdorferi in ticks is the ecology of dusky-footed woodrats, McDonald said. This species acquires infection from ticks easily, and it transmits infection to new ticks easily as well. Western gray squirrels also served as a reservoir for the bacterium, but not to the same extent as the woodrat. Remarkably, there is no real evidence that the bacteria harm small mammals. The animals that have co-evolved with these parasites, and the pathogens that they transmit, seem to weather these infections just fine, McDonald said. Put another way, B. burgdorferi infections are just part of life as a woodrat. The authors also investigated the influence of biodiversity. Hypothetically, areas with low diversity have species that acquire and transmit the bacteria easily. They're likely to be those that live fast and die young, not placing a lot of energy into their immune systems. Surprisingly, diversity seemed to have no effect on the incidence of infected ticks. This study considered a large, heterogeneous area, the entire state of California, so individual species that are important to disease transmission stood out in the results. The woodrat in particular, and the gray squirrel to some extent as well, overlap with where ticks live, McDonald said. It's the overlap in the distribution of the ticks and those particular small mammals that I think is a major reason we're seeing them pop out of the models so much. In other words, there's nothing coincidental about which mammals predict infection in ticks. It all comes down to coincidence. Namely, the range of gray squirrels and dusky-footed woodrats overlaps with the habitats where ticks tend to live, and the Lyme disease transmission cycle likely developed through this close association. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.